And welcome back to coverage of Grand Prix Washington, D.C. Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Ben Schwartz, and we've got a fun matchup here.
Yeah.
Being somebody who's all about fun, I know how to define that. We have Metalworker. That is Wayne Polimine. He's on the left-hand side there, and you see Andrew Cuneo there, who is playing Elves. And this should be interesting. There's some very potent main deck cards for
You're really understating it using the word interesting. I mean, as we said in the pregame, if Wayne plays Chalice of the Void on one, Cuneo basically has no chance.
That's not true at all.
First game.
Cuneo has a 2-drop. He's got a 1-up Scavenging
and Elvish Visionary. I mean, he does have Viridian Shaman in the sideboard, and he can still cast 1-drops using Green Sun Zenith, but Chalice on one.
Hey, a Chalice of the Void.
Your favorite. This is going to be strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen.
So we'll see what happens here as this blanks 90-ish% of the deck for Andrew Cuneo.
I don't know, you guys can't see it at home, but the smile on Marshall's face has gone ear to ear. He's just so happy. He's beaming with happiness.
I can't help it.
Have you ever been happier in your entire life?
Yeah, but this is close.
I believe the word is Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude.
Yeah, see, you went to Germany.
I did. All right, so here's the Nettle Sentinel. Yeah, 2-drops. See, there's game to be played here. Andrew Cuneo resolves a card that's going to allow him to draw something that he probably can't ever cast this game. Staff of Domination off the top for Wayne. That's a potential combo piece for this deck, though that wouldn't come into play until quite a bit later. Or it could come into play, but it wouldn't actually matter until later. And here's, wow, this is just really a completely ideal start for Wayne here. He gets the turn 1 Chalice on one, and then he follows it up with a Metalworker, which is going to enable next turn to be downright explosive. Andrew Cuneo has a Green Sun Zenith in hand.
Yeah, so with that he can go out and get Heritage Tree. I mean, it's not completely over.
No, it's not. We're having fun. All right, here's an attack
you're
for
having
2.
Fun.
I am. Attack for 2 with Nettle Sentinel. Tap Gaia's Cradle. Another Elvish Visionary. See, he's just going off here.
If he Green Sun Zenith for Quirion Ranger, he's got a little bit more of a chance, I'd say. Or rather, Heritage Druid.
All right, Cuneo's
can start slowly generating some advantage. Quirion Ranger does come down. Yeah,
doesn't
Quirion
it
Ranger
just get countered,
but
so what happens there?
I think Wayne forgot the trigger.
Does Wayne have to remember his own trigger? He must announce that himself, right? Oh, that's very awkward. 2, 4, 6, 8 mana here for Wayne. He's also got a Cloud Post and an Ancient Tomb that he hasn't used yet. Wow, so did Andrew Cuneo just... I mean, look, you are allowed to cast anything.
Yeah.
With Chalice of the Void out, it just triggers and then counters it.
Also, I mean, I don't think very many people have experience playing against the Metalworker deck. So, like, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if Cuneo just forgot how Chalice of the Void worked and just jammed that guy anyway.
It would shock me if that was the case. I think Andrew's like, look, this thing's going to be in my hand for the rest of the game. I might as well try it. Yeah, and it's like he puts it on Wayne to remember, and Wayne's like, sure. All right, so let's see what Wayne can come up with, though, because he is going to combo off here. He's using his Staff of Domination to untap his Metalworker, retap it to put 6 mana in his pool, use the mana, 4 of it to untap, and now he's going to have infinite mana at his disposal here.
So he's going to infinite mana?
He can make infinite mana now. He's going to net 1 or 2 mana per activation, and he's going to
literal infinite
go
mana.
off here. Yes, he can make as much as he wants.
He can also
he can draw his whole deck. He can gain infinite life. He can just completely go off here.
That's just game,
and that
right?
should do it. Yep. Now Andrew Cuneo can make him do it though to get a better idea of what his opponent's up to.
So he just creates like 20 bazillion life. There's no mana burn anymore, so.
Nope. So these are cards drawn off of Staff of Domination. Once you have the infinite mana engine going, Staff allows you to draw your deck, get infinite life, untap all your stuff. You can just do whatever you want. So as long as you've set yourself up to have, because it doesn't actually give you a way to kill your opponent natively, so you have to have basically the cards in your deck such that with infinite mana, if you were to draw your whole deck, you could find a win, and there's plenty. The most direct method to do this is to play a Blightsteel Colossus and equip it with Lightning Greaves and then attack for the win. Right now, though, Andrew Cuneo actually has a few blockers here.
Yeah, he's got Blightsteel Colossus he's going to play.
Okay, there's a Blightsteel.
Karn.
He's got Karn Father. First, though, he's going to play the Sundering Titan, and then he just needs to make sure that he can give enough of these haste to be able to attack. All right, so here comes more guys. He's got Koldath the Forge Master, which is just going to be a creature here because he doesn't actually need to bother with comboing. He also, though, even if he doesn't have the kill this turn, which he should, but even if he didn't, he could just... all right, here's Karn. Take out your land, interestingly.
I think he just wants to go for the
Staff of Din. That's
victory.
Sweet. Wow, this deck is just the best. I didn't know it ran Staff of Din now. Oh, I do enjoy that. Trinisphere's on the battlefield. There's a Grim Monolith. Another Metalworker. Yeah, so he's working his way towards the victory here. We'll just sort of let him do his thing, and then we'll check back in with him when when he figures out exactly what tool he would like to use to win. I mean, the reality is he can set up chalices on 1, 2, and 3, and he can just have the board completely locked up and then just pass the turn and then attack with all of his huge monsters next turn, even if he doesn't have the win.
He's at 100 life. 101, 113.
Still going up. Love it.
Infinite.
That's great stuff from our table judge over there.
I just want to see what you discard.
Now, we know that you can't actually...
Yes.
I wonder what number he chose.
I'm not really that curious.
Okay.
I don't think it really matters.
Okay. It matters to me.
Because Cuneo's deck can't deal an infinite amount of damage.
Yeah, I'm actually not that interested in it. But at this point, when Wayne is in the middle of comboing off,
double check that.
these are the things we think about. All right, Andrew Cuneo, I believe, is
I think that's probably true, but it's weird that
packing up his permanents here.
when you put out,
No? Yes. All right. So we have a winner. Wayne Polimine, game 1. He is undefeated with Metalworker. He's able to combo off. He had truly an ideal draw there. Turn 1 Chalice on 1 into Metalworker into combo is the nut. That's the best you can possibly do.
Yeah, and against a deck like Elves.
Yes.
Not too much that they can do about it.
No. Normally, there's a lot of ways to disrupt that type of thing, but with Elves, there's not. And I'm really curious to see what he's able to bring it out of the board. You get a look at our feature match area. There's Andrew on the right, having a bit of a chuckle after that thrashing. Take a look at the Metalworker deck here. You can see it's an artifact-based mana ramp deck. Makes huge, huge threats very early in the game. The backup combo, Staff of Domination, though, we saw that in the forefront in that particular game. And he can make a big Blightsteel Colossus with haste and Shroud early, if uninterrupted. Usually using
that's the question ever. How do you show infinite?
The Koldath Forge Master to power out that combo, but you can also just, if he happens to have it in hand, he can use Metalworker to just power it out too.
Keep saying what you're saying. Play your game normally.
Metalworker,
Pretty powerful
not
card.
the fairest Magic card ever printed.
It was banned in Legacy.
Yeah.
Became unbanned at some point.
I've heard of someone lose after naming a million.
Elves. We saw Cuneo play yesterday. It's a combo deck. Usually it's based on flooding the board with mana-producing elves and then finishing things off with Craterhoof Behemoth and using the draw engines of Glimpse of Nature and Regal Force. Draw a bunch of cards while it goes off. Uses Green Sun Zenith and Natural Order to find particular combo pieces or find finishers in the form of Progenitus out of the board if he wants. Really, usually a powerful combo deck, pretty awful against turn 1 Chalice
not
of
a
the
good
Void for
matchup.
1.
Yeah, it's interesting because let's take a look at the sideboard for Cuneo here. 4 Thoughtseize in the board, 3 Cabal Therapy. He does also have access to 2 Abrupt Decay. So he has a lot of ways to interact with a Chalice, but it's still difficult because he either needs to hit those on the first turn of the game with the Thoughtseize as the Cabal Therapies, or he needs to draw one of his Abrupt Decays, which can take care of it as well. And interestingly, even though Wayne had the...
yeah. It didn't even do anything.
It didn't do anything because the only 1 drop that Andrew actually tried to play resolved anyway. So kind of interesting.
My bigger question is, technically, there's no infinity. It's arbitrarily large.
But still, definitely a rough matchup. I think we're going to see some fairly aggressive mulliganing here. I think that Wayne really wants to try to mulligan until he hits a double land, you know, any land that can produce 2 mana on its own, and a Chalice. And I think that Andrew is either going to need to take a hand that's completely explosive or has outs to a turn 1 Chalice.
I mean, it need not. Like, it needs to be more than just explosive. He's only going to get 1 turn before turn 1 Chalice ostensibly comes down. So, like.
So he just has to mulligan until he has an answer to Chalice?
I mean, this second game, he's going to be on the play, and that's pretty big because
he was here, too.
He'll have access to Thoughtseize in the sideboarded games.
Okay.
And so he can turn 1 Thoughtseize or Cabal Therapy away Chalice to give him an extra couple turns. But, I mean, like we saw last game, it's not like the Chalice really did all that much. And Wayne can still go off in a couple of turns.
Yeah, I mean, that's the interesting part about it. I mean, the Chalice did a lot in that game in the sense that Andrew really didn't have a way to go off, you know, from that point. So it gave Wayne tons of time. He didn't need it because he happened to have the combo pieces in that game.
I mean, Cuneo also has a Qasali Pride Mage, which...
Okay. Yes.
I mean, if I were Cuneo, you really need to fight against a number of different things. First off, in order to combo off, you need to fight against Chalice the Void for 1. And also, you need to, like, remove Metalworker as quickly as possible because, as we saw in that last game, a Metalworker that you're able to untap with pretty much just means it's the game.
It absolutely can. It at least means a big threat. Like, you're going to be facing down something huge. Now, depending on what that threat is, Andrew Cuneo is actually fairly well equipped to you know, chump block for a while and buy himself some time. If it happens to be Blightsteel Colossus, then less so. Okay, so Andrew Cuneo is cracking a fetch line. Does he have that turn 1 disruption spell? This is a key turn here. No, he doesn't.
Green Sun Zenith for 0 is going to get Dried Arbor, accelerate his mana.
Wow. So this could be huge. Now, the other question on the other side, though, as both players kept their opening 7, is does Wayne have it?
Yeah.
Turn 1 Chalice for 1 could be huge, unless, of course... Oh.
Yep, turn 1 Chalice for 1.
There it is, turn 1 Chalice for 1 for Wayne. So the second time in a row, and Andrew's now forced to either have or draw an Abrupt Decay pretty soon. Deathrite Shaman, no, he doesn't have it. So here it is, Elvish Visionary, sure, that resolves. And he plays the Gaia's Cradle and another Elvish Visionary. Gaia's Cradle tapping for 2 thanks to Dryad Arbor and the creature, and he passes the turn back. So a reasonable start for Andrew, at least able to draw to play some cards from his hand, but he doesn't have too much going on here.
He does have access to Green Sun Zenith, so he could potentially get Qasali Pride Mage on his turn.
Okay.
Then the question is, what do you want to use Qasali Pride Mage on? Do you want to use it on that Metalworker that is in all likelihood going to take over the game in the following turn, or use it on the Chalice of the Void so you can start comboing off with that Glimpse of Nature in your hand? I mean, if I were Cuneo, that Chalice of the Void, you know, it doesn't matter how long it takes to get rid of it at some level. That Metalworker, if Wayne untaps with it, Cuneo's just almost definitely dead.
And Andrew, you know, he could be thinking about game 1 as well, where that's exactly what happened.
But he can just tap the Gaia's Cradle to Green Sun Zenith for Qasali Pride Mage here, pick that up.
By the way, I can see why how Wayne is 10-0 in this tournament. These draws are insane.
Yeah, Cuneo thinking through his options.
So you said he has a Pride Mage in hand, or he can go search.
He's got a Green Sun Zenith.
Okay.
Guy's Cradle taps for 3 mana, so you can search one up just by tapping the Guy's Cradle. He can now, because of the new Legend rule, play that second Guy's Cradle in his hand and effectively untap it, right? He gets to choose which one goes to the graveyard.
Now that does get interesting too, though, because Wayne decided to play his Metalworker here, but he has a Wasteland sitting there as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, Andrew can't figure that his Gaia's Cradle is going to be long for this world. All right, so now we see the trigger remembered, and Nettle Sentinel hints the bin. And again, Andrew Cuneo, a little heat check there, just throwing up to see how he's feeling. All right, taps for 3, Green Sun Zenith for 2. Now, Chalice of the Void, you know, checks the converted mana cost of the spell while it's on the stack. And Green Sun Zenith, while its converted mana cost not on the stack is 1, when it's on the stack, it's 3 there. So it is going to resolve. And there's Kasali Pride Mage.
So which of the 2 artifacts is he going to take down is the question.
This is a big question here.
It's going to be Metalworker.
Yep.
Attacking for 3. Start bringing the beats here at 13.
Yep. All right, so he's
You're up, buddy.
taken away the explosive draw here. Another Ancient Tomb drawn by Wayne Polimine, and you know, those add up really quickly. I mean, you see that Andrew hasn't really done much on offense, and Wayne's, I believe, actually at 10 here, or is that putting at 13 now? Okay,
I think he's at 13.
Okay, so even if he's at 13, though, now he's going to be at 9.
But he's going to play Godolphin Forge Master.
Oh man, here we go.
And threaten something big.
Now, right now, Koldoth the Forge Master can't even be activated yet.
Right. It's just a 3/5.
It's a 3/5, but I mean, that's a huge blocker currently, and it is going to be a big threat later. All right, you mentioned this play a second ago, Ben. Taps his Gaia's Cradle, taps another one, and he's going to play something pretty big here. Wow, Craterhoof Behemoth.
Wow, is that going to be it?
Pretty big here
16?
indeed. And that's going to do it. So Andrew Cuneo just ignores the turn 1 Chalice, crashes in there for $1 million.
That's crazy.
And we're going to get a game 3 here. This is great stuff.
Hoofed ya.
Yeah. Rashad says, who needs 1 drops? You've got 2 drops and 8 drops and 0 drops. So really a great start there for Wayne Polimine, completely ignored by Andrew Cuneo.
If I were Wayne, I mean, the look on my face would be like getting hit by a train. Just
I
like
would be
didn't see it coming.
super bummed, yeah.
Just like, yeah, 1 second, I'm sitting there thinking I'm on top of the world. Next second, this gigantic behemoth is barreling towards me.
Pretty brutal.
Stomping my face in.
Very cold-hearted of Andrew Cuneo to do that to him as well. Let's take a look at our upcoming webcast schedule. Grand Prix Albuquerque next weekend, 23rd and 24th. That's going to be Standard. You can see a lot of Standard coming up for you, fans of Standard. Grand Prix Vienna is going to be November 30th through December 1st, so that's the following weekend. That's our European coverage team is going to be covering that one. GP Dallas Fort Worth is also Standard December 7th and 8th. That should be a fun one. And Grand Prix Prague is going to kind of lead us into the next year modern.
Are you going to be at Albuquerque next weekend?
I am, and I'm going to be in Dallas too. In Dallas? I know who it is. I don't want to say. I don't know. I don't know for sure. I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be, no spoilers here. I'm pretty sure I know, though.
There's also text coverage next weekend that I'll be at. Grand Prix Kyoto. Team Grand Prix.
Yeah, you're going to do text coverage out there? I'll read that.
Some good teams out there. There's the Shuhei, Martin Yuza, Shota Yasaoka team.
Really?
There's also Andrew Hain, Rich Hohen, and another Canadian. They're making the trek out there.
Alexander Hain?
Yeah.
Well, that should be great. All right, players are taking a look at their game 3. They're both trying to stay undefeated here. And an instant mulligan from Wayne Polimine. Andrew has a Thoughtseize, I believe, there.
Yeah, but if Wayne can get a turn 1 Chalice the Void using one of his 2-mana lands, like
yeah, this is
Ancient Tomb.
This is the big difference here between being on the play and on the draw in this particular matchup. And how aggressive is Wayne going to mulligan down to that Chalice? I mean, it's a huge play, but as we saw in the last game, it is defeatable. Ye old pile shuffle here from Wayne.
So
Bane of coverage fans worldwide.
Bane of Brian David Marshall. Yeah, I mean, this whole game is going to be quite different because Cuneo's on the draw. I bet Wayne is just mulliganing here to hope to get a turn 1 chalice because that. I mean, as we saw in games 1 and 2, it doesn't necessarily spell game over immediately.
No.
Like, chalice's effect was not gigantic.
It's huge.
I mean, it is huge, but
yeah.
What I meant to say is that it's not, it did not feel like it was gigantic in either of those past 2 games, even though it obviously forced Cuneo to play it in this one way.
Mm.
But in this game, if he has turn 1 chalice, it's just going to blank the majority of Cuneo's hand.
Yeah, interestingly, I mean, 7 potential sideboard cards for Cuneo as an answer to chalice are all 1-drops.
Yeah.
All right, so he has the land. Is he going to see a chalice? No, no chalice. Is he going to ship this back, though? He's got a Metalworker. He's got not that many artifacts in hand, though. This hand actually, well, it... Oh, what is he going to play here? He's going to play Grim Monolith into Metalworker here. And say go. Not bad, but it's actually not the greatest because he has, I believe, just a Lodestone Golem and 2 lands in hand here.
That Lodestone Golem's going to go away thanks to Thoughtseize.
Uh-huh. So it's actually going to be not a whole lot going on here for Wayne in the early turns. He's going to be reliant on the top of his deck to find him some action.
Yeah, Thoughtseize is going to take out the Lodestone Golem. And Cuneo must just be absurdly happy
He's got to be thrilled right now because that Lodestone Golem was going to be problematic as well. It's also just huge.
To know that Wayne has nothing.
Then he just knows now that he has nothing in hand and is just stone top decking. That Grim Monolith will not untap here. And he draws a Phyrexian Revoker. Is there what are the ideal things he can name it? A Heritage Druid or
Kasali Pride Mage.
Pride Mage.
Heritage Druid. I mean,
reasonable stuff.
Attack for 1.
All right, attack you with Metalworker. It's come to this. The beatdown plan. City of Traders. Tap it. Play a Revoker. What does he name? Solid Pride Mage? Okay.
preemptive. And of course, Cuneo just right off the top draws a Kasali Pride Mage.
Because that's how Phyrexian Revoker works.
That's how it works. But luckily for Cuneo, I mean, there's no Chalice of the Void. There's no real pressure from Wayne.
No.
He's got some time to work.
Yeah. Okay, but he has nothing on turn 2 here at all.
He chose not to play his Death Ray Shaman. He wants to wait for a good epic turn with Glimpse of Nature.
Okay. Again, he's recognizing that he's just not under a ton of pressure here.
Oh no, I missed that.
Attack.
Attack you for 3, so this is... Oh, he's going to crack a fetch. Does he have an Abrupt Decay in hand?
What are you waiting for? You have my deck.
Oh, he's going to get a Dryad Arbor and block here?
Barber.
Barber. All right, and he's going to block the Phyrexian Revoker. Sad face.
Turning on the Kasali Pride Mage he has in his hand.
Oh, yeah, pretty rough there for Wayne. Okay, now here's the Chalice on 1. So that's actually quite nice, though, although
Kasali
Pride Mage is going to put a damper on it. And this is going to give Andrew Cuneo access to the white mana needed. He's going to get a Savannah. So things not going great here for Wayne. He could have protected his Phyrexian Revoker and not attacked with it. He decided it was worth it to send it in there, and he's going to get punished for it as the Pride Mage threatens to take down that Chalice of the Void here. Another land for Wayne Polimine.
Yeah, things aren't looking all that bad for Cuneo.
No, he doesn't have a whole lot going on right now, but you got to feel like he's favored here. He's got way more cards in hand and a nice situation set up. He's actually just going to attack in for 3 first here as well. And Cuneo is certainly setting up for a huge Glimpse of Nature turn.
No reason for him not to hold back that Slight Pride Mage here. See what's up on the other side of the table next turn.
All right, so Wayne's going to pay a couple of life to get his Grim Monolith untapped, and that's really good. I mean, it definitely gives him access to enough mana to cast something huge if he were to draw it, though I don't think he has anything huge in his
Platinum
hand.
Angel.
Oh, did he have a Platinum Angel?
Yep.
Okay, well that could be huge. That's the kind of card that that can really put a game away against a deck like Elves, though. ... Qasali Pride Mage, right? That thing is going to be really, really annoying. And Andrew's going to be really happy he kept it. Deathrite Shaman could eventually beat it, though. There's not that many instants and sorceries floating around in these decks.
That's for Platinum Empyrean. It would be the case that Deathrite Shaman would beat it, because Platinum Empyrean says that you can't. Yeah. Platinum Angel, though, says you cannot lose the game. Your opponents cannot win the game.
That's right.
Classic card from the original Mirrodin. For those of us playing since then.
Oh, it was reprinted. M11, I believe.
That's true. I just wanted to make fun of Rashad.
Yeah. Okay, fair. Resolves.
It was M11. Wow, look at you. Dropping that knowledge.
Corset Master. All right, so Wayne's not doing much here, but thinking about doing something. No, he's just going to pass turn. Looked like he was going to actually fire off the Platinum Angel, but decided not to. So it'll be interesting to see if Cuneo can actually come up with, because one of the things that he can come up with here is actually a win within his turn, right? Like if he says, okay, this is the turn, get rid of your Chalice, and then go off and actually win the game, then he can effectively play around any huge threats that Wayne wants to bring to the table here. Okay, getting a little more interesting. Staff of Domination here. He needs 3 artifacts in hand, though, to go with his Metalworker in order to make infinite mana. And I don't think he has that. No, he doesn't. He needs 2 additional artifacts in hand here. So this is going to be rough for him to get to that point. I've noticed that his list is not running the artifact lands. That's one that you'll see pretty often in these lists. It looks like he's gone for Cloud Posts instead of that.
Wayne thinking through his options here. See if he wants to jam down that staff.
I mean, another thing he can do is play the staff and just try to bait getting the Qasali Pride Mage activated. He could also just draw a card or gain just use the staff as well.
I mean, the tricky thing is that if Wayne can somehow trick Andrew into using the Qasali Pride Mage on anything other than Platinum Angel, then I think looking at Andrew's list, he's just cold to it. He's got no way of getting back the Qasali Pride Mage. It's not like there's an Emrakul he can use to shuffle it back, and it doesn't look like he's got any Viridian Shaman. So he has to be really careful. It's his only way to remove an artifact, it seems.
Okay, but Wayne is going to pass the turn back. So Andrew... Oh, Andrew has an Abrupt Decay in hand, so that's going to put a crimp in this plan either way.
Yeah,
so Andrew actually has answers either way here. He's going to take a minute to read Staff of Domination. It's a pretty complex card. It actually has 5 activated abilities on it.
Okay, you're going to do mishap 3 cards.
So if Andrew gets rid of it right now, Wayne can draw a card, for instance, here in response.
Your turn, I'll
See what Cuneo uses the Abrupt Decay on.
Now, what is he targeting the staff here? Assume so, but he's
he's targeting the Chalice.
He is targeting Chalice. Okay, so he could be setting up for the big turn here, and it looks like that's exactly what he's doing.
That was an end of turn. He's going to untap.
And he finds a Green Sun Zenith, so we could see a huge turn here for Cuneo. In fact, a game-winning turn potentially. Remember, Wayne's down to 10. If he can sufficiently go off and get a Crater Hoof Behemoth into play, it'll only take 1 or 2 creatures that are able to attack to actually do it. And the Behemoth itself is one of them, so he could be in a really good position here. The downside to a deck like Wayne Polimines is that it doesn't really have any ways to interact with your opponent. You know, when it's their turn, he just has to sit here and watch for the most part. He can do a little bit, but all right.
Glimpse of nature.
Glimpse resolves, and here we go. Let's see if Andrew Cuneo has the tools. It looks like he's got enough in his hand to do it. Deathrite Shaman.
Well, he actually doesn't have another creature in his hand, but he draws into another Deathrite Shaman.
He draws into another Deathrite.
Draws into an Abrupt Decay.
That's not a creature. Remember, the Green Sun Zenith doesn't trigger Glimpse of Nature, so
he does get 4 mana off of that Gaia's Cradle, so he can potentially Green Sun Zenith for 3.
Has he essentially fizzled otherwise as far as going off here?
He can tap the Gaia's Cradle, Green Sun Zenith for 2 to get Elvish Visionary, and then draw into another creature.
Okay.
The best creature would probably be Heritage Druid, so he can generate a bunch of mana.
Now, he does also, though, just have an attack here with Kasali Pride Mage, knock Wayne down to 7, and have 2 Deathrite Shamans and a Kasali Pride Mage on the battlefield as well. So the pressure is mounting either way for Wayne, whether he's dead this turn or not.
There's no Viridian Shaman in Cuneo's list, so Green Sun's anything for that is not an option.
Right, attack with Kasali Pride Mage, and
well, before the attack, Staff of Domination, one of its many abilities is to tap target creature.
It's true.
So Wayne can do that, although it would only really save him 1 damage.
Yeah, he's going to have to
tap his Ancient Tomb.
Yeah, well, actually, can he just tap Metalworker and City of Traders? Because it costs 4.
That's true, he could do that.
Yeah, he's got 1 artifact in hand, I believe. The Angel still. But he doesn't. Perhaps wanting to draw a card here. Andrew still has another Abrupt Decay in hand, and I think he's considering just firing it off on that staff here, maybe even on the Metalworker.
Yeah, I mean, he has to do it. He can't tap out and pass it over to Wayne, because Wayne at end of turn can draw a card with Staff of Domination and then potentially draw a 3rd artifact for his turn and just immediately win. So Cuneo's doing the smart thing here, gaining 4 green mana with Gaia's Cradle, 1 black from Bayou, and casting Abrupt Decay.
Man, that Kasali Pride Mage on the board is so awkward for Wayne because he still has that Platinum Angel in hand, which would be great. Doing a little math here. It looks like he's going to activate the staff and try to draw into something.
Okay. Before it goes away, let's draw a card.
So he's revealing that from his hand to add 2.
Okay.
Now he has 6. Take 2, go to 5. And I think he's just going to peel here.
I'm at 11 and he's at 5, is that correct? Yeah.
All right, draw a card.
Okay, you're going to have 1 floating after that? Is that good? I'm thinking. Can I read Platinum Angel?
A quick review of Platinum Angel for Andrew Cuneo here.
Wayne has 1 colorless floating.
He's reading Platinum Angel.
And he's really trying to think about,
If there's any way for him to win if it gets out.
apparently.
In response, I'm gonna hard manage the staff. With the draw card.
Okay, so in response, he's going to blow up the staff. So that means that the original Abrupt Decay targeted the Metalworker.
Yep.
And unfortunately, that Grim Monolith is going to remain tapped, so Wayne is going to likely only have access to 6 mana on his turn here at the most. Now is that a...
Worm Coil Engine.
Oh, it was a Worm Coil Engine.
The problem, though, being he can't really afford to tap his Ancient Tomb.
Because there's multiple instances. There's at least 2 Abrupt Decays in the graveyard and 2 black mana for Andrew Cuneo, so he really can't. And if he plays a land, he loses the City of Traders, so that doesn't really get him anywhere either. Things are looking dire here for Wayne. Man, yeah, that Metalworker
He's in a
being dead is
sticky
huge.
situation, right?
He is. Oh,
If Wayne does nothing, he'll get attacked by Dryad Arbor and then burned out for 4 by Deathrite Shaman. So if he casts something, he'll be under 4 life.
He's going to play a land and not use... Yeah, I think he's just dead here. He's going through the iterations, but none of them lead to him even being alive anymore. He just has to say go, and he's dead on board.
Yeah. Hopefully Andrew doesn't get scared. Andrew just has to make the play here.
Yep. Andrew's known for playing around everything, but I don't think he's going to here. I think he... Oh, is he going to hoof him here too?
Yeah, just for fun.
Just the value hoof?
I mean,
1,
he's
2,
going to
3,
green
4,
Sun
1, 2,
Zenith
3,
for hoof.
4. You need to tap 1 more mana for that.
Green Sun Zenith for 8.
Green Sun Zenith for 9. Well, for 8. Hoof ya.
Is that good, or?
And that's it. Andrew Cuneo is victorious.
Look
You
at
see
that
the smile on his face.
Year to year, baby.
Yeah. And also, Wayne Polimine also smiling to his